This video is made possible by Skillshare, an online learning community for curious and creative people. And by the Deck of Mini and their Mega Black Friday sale ending today. And finally by the Roll for Combat Actual Play podcast and their 3-Ring Adventure series. Hello and welcome back to The Gallant Goblin. The holiday season is almost here, and that means it's time to find some little presents that you can get for the fellow gamers in your life to show them how thankful you are for all the time they've spent writing and painting and sculpting and crafting and just plain adventuring with you. But first, giveaway news. We're doing a new holiday giveaway along with this video. It's getting pretty chilly outside, so let's celebrate with a booster box of Icewind Dale Rime of the Frost Maiden. To enter, just be a subscriber and leave me a comment down below telling me either which gift idea I mentioned you like the best, or give me your own gift idea. We'll announce the winner in 2 weeks. And at the end of this video, we'll announce the winner of our 2 Fangs and Talons giveaways, since that set is out now. So, I've tried to come up with a list of items and services that you can give to other gamers in your life, or maybe yourself, to help enhance those games even more. And stay tuned all the way through this particular video because even our ads at the end from our generous sponsors will highlight even more gift ideas on ways that you can surprise your friends and family this holiday season. We have links to each of these items in the video description down below. We'll note the ones that are affiliate links, meaning that if you purchase through those, it helps support us here at The Gallant Goblin. And I also set up an Amazon storefront for The Gallant Goblin so I can keep our holiday list updated even after this video releases. Not everything is available through Amazon obviously, but it's a good way to track most things. Purchases made through the storefront also help us here. You can find it at amazon.com/shop/The Gallant Goblin. And as always, you can check the spoilers and timestamps in the video description down below, or that nifty little segmented timeline down there right below me if you want to skip around. So without further ado, and in no particular order, let's take a look at the first annual Gallant Goblin gift guide for 2020. So role-playing games are all about stimulating the senses. A good GM will verbally describe a scene with descriptions based around what the character not only sees, but what they hear and feel and smell. And we use tools like our minis and maps and terrain to really enhance those visual senses for your players. I like to consider all these things just an aid to your imagination. While we generally focus on the visual, we can't leave our other senses behind. No. So let's start with your sense of smell. These are from a company called Calliope Candleworks on Etsy. They're specifically designed to be used during your fantasy RPG games. They have several different scents available. What we've got here is Tavern Keep, Sands of the Desert, Castle in the Clouds, Forest Enchantment, Lair of the Dragon, Port of the Ocean, and Fortress of Sorcery. The aroma of each candle really helps anchor you to that particular location. It's really awesome. When we used to play in person, we used these all the time. Now, maybe the very best part about these candles is that inside each one is a metal die from Norse Foundry. You won't know exactly what kind of die is hidden inside until you use your candle enough to reach it, but it could be a D4, D6, D8, D10, D12, D20, or a percentile die. Each candle is 8 ounces and has a 50-hour burn time. For you candle nerds out there, they use 100% soy wax and have cotton wicks. One of these days, I'm going to learn how to do candle making myself. It's one of those things I've been talking about for ages. Anyway, in the meantime, these are a great way to set the mood for your adventures and give you a nice little surprise at the end. You can pick up one of these candles for $23 plus shipping, or $173 for all 7 with free shipping. So these candles are pretty good for the GM in your life, but for your players, you can get a class-specific candle with a full set of 7 metal pebble dice from Norse Foundry inside. Each of those is $35.50, but they're a bit smaller at 6 ounces. And they have 12 different classes to choose from. So remember, the location candles here have 1 random die inside, while the class candles have a full set of 7 metal dice. So that's scent covered. Now let's talk about hearing. I've explored a couple of different options for sound and music in my games, but I've settled on using Syrinscape for its versatility. If you listen to any actual play podcast, you've probably heard of them. It's a very robust piece of software that lets you blend together various soundscapes to really set the mood for your adventure, and you can subtly alter the composition as your party moves from one room to the next. Maybe you'll start fading out the sound of the birds chirping as they move deeper into the cave, but then slowly start raising the sound of the growling monster deeper in the cavern. I often embed little hints of what my players may expect only into the sound mix, so they really have to immerse themselves into the experience to pick up on all the information I'm putting out there. They also have one-shot sound effects to punctuate dramatic moments, like that arrow that lands true, or that creaky door opening ominously, or that fireball spell blowing up that oncoming swarm of intellect devourers. And they have a large set of music to choose from as well, including that band that plays each night in the tavern down the street, or the mysteriously ominous music to set the scene as your party explores the dark forest, or the percussion-heavy battle music to make those combat encounters more intense. And your sound effects blend in perfectly with the music. Syrinscape works great when you play in person, as you can just set up your speaker and then run it off your computer or even your phone or tablet. But it also works great for remote games, as your players can download a small free client application on their computer or phone to receive the sound mixes that you send them. Then they can adjust their individual volume to their tastes. Many GMs actually delegate control of the Syrinscape soundboard to one of their players, which is also a very viable option for those GMs who just don't want to have one more thing to worry about. Syrinscape is very flexible, and we could probably make a good 20-minute video about it. I will say that it's not the most intuitive piece of software ever designed, but once you get the hang of it, you'll be weaving together custom sound sets like a pro. Anytime I'm playing in a game without Syrinscape or some other music and sound effect generator, the experience just doesn't feel complete to me. If you haven't tried adding music and sound effects yet, definitely give it a try. Now, Syrinscape is a subscription service, though you can sign up for a limited amount of time and download the sets to use in perpetuity. They also have official sound sets for specific adventures for Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, Starfinder, Call of Cthulhu, Cyberpunk Red, and even several board games. You can buy your GM a 2-month non-renewing subscription for $14.30 for all fantasy sound sets, including official D&D and Pathfinder sets, or you can get all their sci-fi sets, including official Starfinder ones, for the same price. For $21.98, you can give them everything Syrinscape, both fantasy and sci-fi. So in our senses section here, we've covered smell and hearing, but what about touch? One of the coolest things I found early in my gaming career was a company on Etsy that made high-quality custom documents for D&D games that came with really cool accessories. If you've seen any of our videos from Beadle and Grimm Special Editions, you know what's possible with in-world documents. Well, this particular creator will make the documents with your character's name and story incorporated into it. The store is called Master of the Game, and like everything else, we'll throw a link in the video description below. What I bought back in the day was a welcome letter written by an in-game NPC that I chose, welcoming some of my PCs to the organizations that they chose to join, namely the Harpers, the Emerald Enclave, and the Lord's Alliance. I provided the dates and some plot and character details, and Master of the Game did the rest. They also included some hardware to go along with the letter. For the Harpers and the Emerald Enclave, we had the appropriate symbol pin, and for the Lord's Alliance, there was a cool signet ring. My players loved it, and so did I. Historically, they've also had documents for Curse of Strahd, including the dinner invitation from Strahd himself, and the actual Tome of Strahd book. They've had the Troll Skull Manor deed from Dragon Heist and Zariel's contract from Descent into Avernus. Now, this is a small family-run business, so you'll have to check their availability, but they do have some fantastic work. I highly recommend checking them out at the link in the video description below. That's Master of the Game on Etsy. Next, I want to show you a fantastic book that you can get for the GMs in your life. There are a lot of monsters in Dungeons & Dragons, and it can be tough to make each one feel distinct and unique for your players. Sometimes there's a lot of lore about specific beasts, but it's spread across different books. So knowing just how to play a ghast versus a ghoul versus a ghost can be really tricky. Well, this is The Monsters Know What They're Doing by Keith Ammann, and it should probably be on the shelf of every 5e GM out there. This book, combined with a stat block from the Monster Manual or elsewhere, gives you everything you need to know to roleplay that monster or NPC correctly, and specifically how to use them in combat both strategically and thematically. I don't think it's hyperbole to say that this is the very best way to become a better GM. It also walks you through how to interpret a stat block so you know, for example, how to play a high intelligence, low wisdom character in combat. The book covers a wide range of monsters, from all the dragons to fey creatures to monstrosities to NPCs like guards and cultists and archmages to humanoids like Kenku, orcs, and gnolls. The list just goes on and on, but let me take just the Archmage for example. If you've ever taken a look at the Archmage stat block, it is enormously complicated. It's a 9th level spellcaster. Those are hard to just pick up and play strategically on the fly. I just grab the first spell that looks vaguely familiar and throw it out there. But if you don't know how to play that character correctly, that climactic, dramatic fight might be over before you even get a single cool spell off. This book lays out all the things you need to know, including what spells the Archmage will precast, what it will most likely want to cast on the first round of combat, which spells it will prioritize for concentration, and it goes through each and every spell at its disposal to make sure that you get the best bang for your buck, as the Archmage only has one spell it can cast with anything other than an action. Spell choice each turn is vital. The book really goes through several different scenarios for what your Archmage might face and how it would react in those circumstances. It's amazing, and it has entries like this for something like 200 different creatures. The book is available everywhere books are sold for about $15. You can also find a lot of entries for free on his blog at themonstersknow.com. Next, I want to talk about 3 related projects that are close to my heart, all 3 of which I'm trying to find more time to dive deeper into this winter. As you may know, I'm a big fan of plane hopping adventures mingled with sci-fi. If you picked up my adventure, I Am Your World, available exclusively at GM's Guild and on sale right now for Black Friday, also a great gift, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. I think science fantasy, as I call it, can provide a wholly unique and thematic setting for those of you who want to get away from the very fantasy-based adventures and forests and mountains and caverns. And one of my first experiences with planar adventures was in the old D&D computer game Planescape Torment by Black Isle Studios, which came out way back in 1999, before some of you were even born. Planescape is a D&D setting originally designed by Zeb Cook back in 1994 for 2nd edition. It's an intersection of many different planes of reality linked together by interdimensional magical portals. Planescape Torment is still arguably the best D&D computer game ever made, and very possibly tells one of the most interesting stories of any game I've played personally. It's been more than 20 years now, and I still remember how I felt playing that game. It was out of print for a long time and just plain incompatible with modern computers, but more recently it was resurrected by a company named Beamdog, which made it playable on modern devices and added some quality of life improvements that we're used to these days with games of this ilk. For example, you can hit tab to see all the interactable objects in the environment instead of having to pixel hunt, and there's a quick loot option to pick up everything at once. And man, it'll just run at your computer's native display resolution without any trouble. They also remastered the soundtrack. So, what's this game about? In Planescape Torment, your character is called the Nameless. He actually has a WizKids mini in Monster Menagerie 3, along with a set of 2 unpainted minis in the Nolzur's line. I really can't tell you much more about the Nameless without spoiling some story beats, but I think you'll be hooked from the very first few hours of gameplay, especially once you meet your first traveling companion. But in Planescape Torment, you'll be exploring who your character is and who he used to be, and who he was before that, and what you have to do with the current state of the multiverse. I'm kind of leaving it vague on purpose. Now, the game looks a little dated, admittedly, but the art direction is gorgeous and the writing is what's really going to make it a memorable experience. You can pick up the Enhanced Edition on just about every device out there. It's on Steam, Mac, PC, Linux, iPhone, iPad, Android, Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo Switch. The price ranges from $10 to $20 depending on your platform of choice, and is translated into French, Polish, German, and Korean. But if it's just a little bit too dated looking for you to enjoy, I do have another option for you. Now, back in the 2nd edition and 3rd edition days, one of the writers who released a lot of official content for the Planescape setting was a fella by the name of Monte Cook. He fell in love with the setting and later went on to make his own RPG called Numenera, which is set about 1 billion years in the future, after the rise and fall of 8 different civilizations. It's a science fantasy game where at first blush the world may resemble one very similar to the Forgotten Realms, but beneath the surface are technological artifacts and constructions that are very sci-fi in nature. In 2017, a company called inXile Entertainment created a spiritual successor to Planescape Torment called Torment Tides of Numenera, this time obviously set in the Numenera universe. If Planescape Torment sounds appealing to you, but you just can't handle playing a dated game, take a look at Torment Tides of Numenera instead. Or if you love Planescape Torment and you want another game of that ilk, well, here you go. It's a squad-based, isometric, narrative-driven game like Planescape Torment and Baldur's Gate before it, but it plays and looks much more modern. Now, it's a very text-heavy game, so if that's not your thing, you may want to look elsewhere. But if you want a brilliant story unlike anything you've ever experienced, definitely check it out. Or since this is a gift guide, get it for a friend who may need something fun to do while quarantining or being snowed in. Torment Tides of Numenera is available on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. On Amazon right now, the PS4 edition is a steal at $11. The price of this one varies quite widely, but is definitely worth checking out. Now, if this sci-fi, fantasy, Numenera stuff sounds appealing to you, but you're not so much into video games and you don't want to learn a new system outside of 5e, then I've got you, friend. These books arrived at my doorstep just a few weeks ago, and man, I'm really excited to spend some time this winter exploring them. Monte Cook Games has taken the Numenera-inspired science fantasy idea and brought it to 5e in this book, Arcana of the Ancients. You get loads of new sci-fi inspired items and artifacts that you can add to your regular Dungeons & Dragons adventure, plus ideas on how to weave together your own science fantasy campaign, or just to design a little science fantasy side quest for your existing adventure. There's also several standalone adventures in here to take those ideas out for a spin. And if you want more, they also have this 5e science fantasy bestiary, Beasts of Flesh and Steel, to give you all sorts of crazy alien, cybernetic, and augmented creatures to add to your stories. But if you specifically want that Numenera setting with its rich lore and fantastic locations and not just this generic science fantasy stuff, and you don't want to learn that whole new RPG system, then this is the book you're looking for, Beneath the Monolith. And this supplements the other 2 books and brings the Numenera world to 5e for you to play in. This book gives you the world and who lives in it. This is where the stories begin. If you'd like us to do a full review of these books, let me know in the comment section down below. We have a busy schedule around here, but you all can help me prioritize what we cover. You can pick up these hardcover books on the Monte Cook web store for $40 to $55 a piece, or pick up the PDF versions for less than half of that. They also have free previews of the books, so you can check those out, and we should be getting more Arcana of the Ancients content sometime in the near future. Now let's say you've got a friend who's kind of stuck in a D&D rut, but doesn't feel confident in learning a new system. I've been there, I know that feeling. And it's pretty well known that Pathfinder and Starfinder are what they call next step games after D&D. They're a little more complex to allow a lot more customization. Well, with both of them, you've got two awesome entry points here in these beginner boxes. The Starfinder beginner box we've actually reviewed here on the channel in a video that we put a lot of work into. It's an exhaustive look at what's in the box and serves as a great introduction to the lore of Starfinder, which I adore. The set contains an adventure, awesome character sheets, a trimmed down version of the Starfinder rules, standees, maps, and more so that you have everything you need to hit the ground running in your own Starfinder campaign. You can check out the details by clicking the eye in the corner of your screen. Now, the Pathfinder 2e beginner box here just released recently. It's quite similar to the Starfinder set in that it contains a hero's handbook, a game master's guide with an adventure, a set of pawns, pre-generated characters, blank character sheets, and a double-sided flip mat. Everything you need to run your first Pathfinder adventure. We'll do a full review of this set soon, but if you'd like to get your gaming group into Pathfinder, this is the way to do it. And if you played the Starfinder Beginner Box Adventure, you know that there's a bit of a jump between the Beginner Box rules and the full Starfinder rules. So they're bridging that gap with Pathfinder using this book, coming out in December, Trouble in Otari. It's an anthology of 3 adventures designed to ease players from the beginner box rules to the full 2e rule set. Trouble in Otari is around $20 for the physical book or $16 for the PDF. And you can pick up these beginner boxes now for about $35 to $40. If you have a friend who's ready to take the plunge into painting minis and terrain and likes to go in big, then check out the Army Painter Mega Paint Set and the Wargames Mega Brush Set. These were kindly provided to us by Wargames Delivered, and we do have an affiliate link for them in the video description below. The paint set here features 39 acrylic paints, 4 washes to give each of your minis some depth, 5 metallics for your weapons and your armor and the trinkets, and 2 effect paints, namely Glistening Blood and Dry Rust, which look really cool. There's also a brush and paint guide in here to get you started. The brush set has most everything you'll need, 10 brushes in all, from general use to dry brushing to various sizes of precision brushes. I'm planning to start painting videos here on YouTube and possibly over on Twitch really soon, and I'm gonna probably be using these for 99% of what I do on those channels. The Mega Paint Set is about $130, and the brush set is about $60. And again, using our affiliate link down there for Wargames Delivered helps support our channel. A couple of months ago, one of our viewers put us in contact with a company called Battle Systems, and they sent us an amazing set of fantasy and sci-fi papercraft terrain and a couple of beautiful playmats. Here's an example of just one of their buildings that comes in the Fantasy Village set. If you want to absolutely fill your table up with awesome looking terrain for not a lot of money, this is an option you should check out. We're going to do a full review of both of these packs in the new year, so if you're curious, stay tuned for that. What I can tell you now is that the terrain is functional with grids and removable roofs and doors that open and close. It comes pre-painted, obviously, but it does take a bit of time to assemble. It should hold up well over time, but I imagine that once I put it all together, I'm gonna wanna keep it together so it's ready when I need it. And for your sci-fi games like Starfinder, they have a whole set of terrain for that as well. Check out their website in the video description below for all their terrain offerings, including full villages and citadels and battlefields, as well as individual buildings like taverns like this one and barns and all sorts of stuff. And these full sets here are about $100 a piece. And the battle mats, as you can see down here, are also really gorgeous. The one I have here is gridless, but you can always get an acrylic gridded sheet to put on top of it. The 3 foot by 3 foot or 90 centimeter by 90 centimeter mat that you see here on your screen goes for about $37. And they have a wide variety of fantasy and sci-fi terrain patterns to choose from. Check them out at battlesystems.co.uk. If you have someone in your life looking to get started with 3D printing and you don't want to spend a fortune, I found the Elegoo Mars resin printer to be a solid choice. All the 3D printed minis that you've seen on our channel have come from it. You can pick one up for about $200, but don't forget that you'll need some tools, safety equipment, and the actual resin to go with it. So be sure to do some additional research to see if this is the right gift for you. If you do have friends interested in playing Pathfinder or Starfinder, I highly recommend hooking your group up with subscriptions and content from Hero Lab Online. These are complex games, and it can be tough to juggle all the conditions and boons and spell effects and magical items, but Hero Lab is going to do all of that for you in a really intuitive and well-designed way. Let the software do the paperwork while you focus on the fun. I will never play a campaign of Pathfinder or Starfinder without it. You can check out their subscriptions and official content at the link in the video description down below. That's Hero Lab Online. If you're looking to go on a computer-based adventure with your gaming group in a beautiful lore-filled world for absolutely free, hook your friends up with Guild Wars 2. I've been playing since launch like 8 years ago, and I'm always impressed with what a gorgeous and smooth and fun game they put together. The base game, which is enormous, is completely free and will give you hundreds of hours of fun, plus a lot of inspiration for your own fantasy RPG games. Their world building in particular is phenomenal. And if you like what you see, they have 2 expansions and one on the way to keep the story going. Check it out at guildwars2.com. If your gift recipient is a member of the LGBT+ community and likes to show their pride at the game table, check out Heartbeat Dice. They have opaque and translucent plastic dice as well as wooden dice and accessories like dice trays, pens, and lanyards, all in the various colors of the queer community. Most of the sets range from about $10 to $20, and you can find them at heartbeatdice.com. Of course, many of the sets we've reviewed here on the channel can also make great gifts. Find your players that perfect PC mini from the WizKids Premium Figures line. The Warlock Tiles Dungeon Tiles 1 or Town and Village 1 sets are a great introduction to 3D terrain for your RPG games. If you have someone just starting their mini collection, you can get them booster boxes from whatever adventure they're currently playing, or get them some of the monster packs from WizKids to make sure they have those basics covered. If you're looking for official RPG books, you can't go wrong with the amazing Pathfinder 2nd Edition Core Rulebook, or the Starfinder Core Rulebook, and the newest D&D book, Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, which I hope to review here really soon too. And if you'd like to play something set in a modern day, consider Vampire the Masquerade for modern day noir, or Delta Green for your X-Files style Lovecraftian horror. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention a few of our own works which are available on dmsguild.com, which I think are pretty good. And if you use the links in the video description below, you can get a nice discount on them. My first adventure, I Am Your World, is a low-level adventure that incorporates some of those science fantasy motifs that I discussed earlier. It takes inspiration from the old Dark City movie from the 90s and finds your party trapped in a small village overseen by a mysterious mind flayer mayor. The adventure can be completed in 3 or 4 sessions, and it's pretty good fun if I do say so myself. The podcast One Shot Onslaught actually played through it themselves. If you want to check that out, I'll link that in the video description below as well. If someone you know is playing a Theros D&D campaign, check out The Grey Merchant, which adds a ton of very lore-heavy magical items, mechanics, and story hooks, and gives you a ton of potential avenues for adventure in the Theros universe. If a friend is playing Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden, or any adventure set in the Snowy Mountains, our first Fight Your Minis book fleshes out the Snowy Owlbear, giving you new stat blocks, encounters, NPC trainers, magical items, and more to get the very most out of your awesome Snowy Owlbear mini. And if you know someone itching to play a level 20 adventure, check out Kill Ball Volume 1, in which you're recruited by the god Mystra to, well, kill Ball, the god of murder. It's a rollicking adventure inspired by, obviously, the movie Kill Bill, with an adjustable complexity. Also, as you may have noticed below our videos here for the past couple of weeks, we have a new merch store that I've been updating constantly, and I'm going to keep adding more and more to it every few weeks. Each design is available on a wide variety of products, from shirts to sweaters to hoodies to tote bags and cell phone cases and more. We, of course, have our logo shirts here if you want to show your Gallant Goblin pride. If you have similar thoughts about gnolls as I do, you may be interested in our Just Say No to Gnolls design. And if you are a big as fan as I am of the Rock Mini from the Warlock Tiles Dungeon Dressing set, may I interest you in our Team Rock design. And finally, we have a whole range of kobolds representing the player classes from a variety of games. We of course have D&D covered with everything from the sorcerer to the monk to the bard, all the way to the artificer. We also added in those special Pathfinder classes like the oracle, the witch, and the investigator. And now we're working on the Starfinder classes, which will be coming very soon. We're currently running discounts on these for Black Friday week, so check those out below, and keep an eye out for more designs in the future. If you have an idea for a product design that would work well for the Gallant Goblin, let me know in the comments section. Now I want to talk to you a bit about our sponsors for this video, but stay with me because I think you'll find these interesting and a good gift option as well. We're teaming up with Skillshare.com for one video a month for the next few months. Skillshare is an online community with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people just like you. It's a way to explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and just get lost in creativity. As you may know, with our upcoming move, I'm going to be working full-time on the Gallant Goblin, which means I need to learn how to edit these videos. That's a task that Grady's been doing all by himself up until now. So I'm using Skillshare to learn how to use Final Cut Pro to put all these videos together for you. And I'm taking some classes about Twitch streaming so I can really get started on giving you some live content as well. Finally, since I'm moving to a new house, I'm also taking a class called Style Your Space, Creative Tips and Techniques for Interior Design by Emily Henderson. She teaches you how to take the awesome stuff that you already have, and I have a lot of stuffs, and arrange it so that it actually reflects your personality and complements your space. They have a lot of classes that are of interest to folks who like RPGs as well. They have classes on how to develop character-driven stories and how to tell stories with character conflict, context, and craft. They have a class on fictional world building for some of those of you maybe out there who like to homebrew your own worlds. And they even have a class by a cultural anthropologist that teaches you how to build a fictional society for your games that feels real and not generic. These are just some of the amazing things that you can do to while away the winter hours while you're staying at home and being safe. And it makes a great gift for a friend who may be looking to develop some new skills or learn something entirely new. The videos are curated specifically for learning, meaning that there's no ads, and they're always launching new premium classes, so you can stay focused and follow wherever your creativity takes you. It's just like getting lost in Wikipedia or D&D Beyond, but you get to learn some new practical skills at the same time. And it's less than $10 a month for an annual subscription. The first 1,000 of my subscribers who click the link in the video description down below will get a free trial of the premium membership so you can explore your creativity. And of course, doing so also helps support our work at the Gallant Goblin, so I can keep working on the channel full time to bring you more and more videos and other content. Many thanks to Skillshare for joining the Gallant Goblin family. Next, let me tell you all about the Black Friday sale from the Deck of Mini. And the Black Friday sale ends today, Monday, November 30th. As you may know, the folks at the Deck of Mini began sponsoring us before we had even 1,000 subscribers and have been with us ever since. And they've grown so much since we showed you their first set of reference cards. These days, if you look through their store, there's an amazing array of awesome content, much of which I purchased myself because I can't help myself. So many great gift options too. You've got, of course, the fun and useful spell reference cards for D&D, or the animated reference cards if you want to really give a shiny gift. You've got the whole collection of the Big Bad booklets to have new fun adventures with your friends. And there's my beloved Humblewood, the best campaign I've run yet, and the awesome Humblewood minis. And they're producing Sina Una, which is an awesome and exciting new campaign setting based on Filipino culture and mythology. And I can't wait to show you more about that very soon. If you use the link, thedeckofmini.com/GG2020, that's GG for Gallant Goblin, and you put in the coupon code GG2020, you can get free shipping on orders of $50 or more, and it'll show the folks at the Deck of Mini that they should continue sponsoring our channel. Again, check it out at thedeckofmini.com/GG2020 and use the coupon code GG2020. Finally, we want to thank the Roll for Combat Actual Play podcast. Lately, anytime I've had to travel, I just load up my phone with episodes of the Roll for Combat podcast to keep me entertained. This month, I want to highlight their 3-Ring Adventure series. This is a relatively new podcast from them. It's a role-play heavy playthrough of the Extinction Curse adventure path for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. It sees the player characters as members of a traveling circus who uncover a dangerous otherworldly plot. So they have to balance the safety of the land with operating, promoting, and performing in their very own circus. It's a fascinating story unlike anything you've heard before. And it's a great way to learn Pathfinder 2nd Edition, or to see how to incorporate the idea of your characters running a business during a campaign, something I think a lot of players are interested in trying out. So listen to the 3-Ring Adventure today on your podcasting app of choice, or visit the Roll for Combat website to see all their shows, articles, reviews, and to join their wildly popular Discord. You can also pick up some cool gifts in their merch store. Actually, I kind of like some of their character shirt designs, and I'm going to get a couple myself. So check it out today at rollforcombat.com. Now for the winners of our Fangs and Talons booster box giveaways. Our first winner is Amber Briggs. Congratulations. And our second winner is Joseph Skiles and his award-winning goat, Sammy. Good job, buddy. If you'll both just drop me an email at thegallantgoblin@gmail.com, we'll get your booster boxes sent your way. Let me know what your favorite gift idea was, and then call out some things that I missed in the comment section down below. And go down there and check the comments to see what other gift ideas the community had, and then upvote the best ones so more people can see them. We have a ton of awesome videos coming up. We have our full review of the Icewind Dale Rime of the Frost Maiden premium set from Beetle and Grimm's. We have reviews of the new Pathfinder and Starfinder adventure paths, including ones that seem to take inspiration from Joss Whedon's Firefly, the Pathfinder 2nd Edition beginner box that we talked about today, and the new Lost Omens Pathfinder Society guide. We have reviews of the upcoming unpainted minis from WizKids, starting with the new Magic the Gathering minis that you'll want especially for your Ravnica campaigns, plus just so much more. Bear with us as we're moving cross-country this month, so our review schedule, our release schedule is going to be a little erratic, but I'm going to be also just a little bit slower in responding to your comments and emails than I usually am, so please do just keep commenting down below. I'll get to them eventually, I promise you. Also, join us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. If you enjoyed the video today, leaving us a like helps us keep the channel going, and subscribe so you don't miss anything. You can hit the little notification bell down there to get an alert when we drop a new video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can let me know those in the comment section down below as well. For now though, stay safe, have fun, love each other, and I'll see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.